And it figures he I know he's behind these other people calling in. Here we go. All right, let's welcome the one and only to Totally Driven Radio. He's coming back. The man, the myth, the legend himself, my long-lost brother, my twin from another mother, Mr. Lou D Angeli. Lou, what the hell is going on?
You sound like you trying to steal Gertner's gimmick?
You know, if there was a gimmick I'd want to steal, it would be Joel Gertner's.
You know, I did an interview last week with some guys, and I said that I always thought that Joel was one of the guys in the wrestling business who I don't think really got. I think he was awesome in ECW, but he should have been a bigger star. I don't think he got the payoff he deserved.
Absolutely.
He still has a chance. I still think he has a chance, though.
His promos were the absolute funniest. I mean, I could sit there on YouTube and watch, like, people put together, like, 10-minute compilations of it. I could sit there all freaking day and watch them over and over and still laugh as hard as I did from watching it the first time to the last time.
No, he was a genius, but he was legitimately smart. And, I mean, I traveled a ton with him, and he was a funny guy. He was a fun guy. There's probably a lot of stories. I can remember them all. But, I mean, there was a lot of good times him and I had together, and I always he's one of the guys. There's probably maybe 3 guys I feel that way about, and he's one of them. So but due to the fact that his body is probably okay, considering a lot of other guys, you know, just because of the in-ring work that a lot of the other guys do, you never know. Maybe somebody will give him a chance. I think he'd be a great play-by-play guy.
Absolutely. I don't know why they haven't. Somebody needs to do it. They need to step up and really invest in Joel. They'd be a fool for not doing it.
Look, wrestling's a weird business. There's never a clear answer for many things.
So speaking of wrestling, something I was really curious about, do you still do you watch wrestling? Do you follow wrestling?
You know, a lot of the guys, it's this convoluted answer. There was guys that I was friends with after I left. Like, there was a part, so when I was working for World Wrestling Entertainment, I watched the product, obviously. And then after I kind of finished up there, I only watched I left with no ill will. I mean, I left on really good terms, and, you know, I had an office job, so it wasn't like I was talent or something like that. But I left on good terms. Everything was cool. I just kind of was done watching wrestling and just the whole business in general. But I did watch when my buddies were on, and
right.
When I knew they were doing something. But now a lot of my buddies are gone from there, and there are some guys I really like there right now, but at WWE, but I can't say I watch it religiously. I don't even really watch the pay-per-views. Maybe WrestleMania, but the answer to your question is no, I don't really watch it anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you. Once I left the business, I kind of had the bitter taste in my mouth, and I couldn't watch it anymore. I couldn't get into it. And here and there, through the years, early on, when I would see Friends or whatever on, I would watch. But as years went on, I've really stopped until actually, because of my co-host Nick, he told me there's this new thing, Lucha Underground, and I watched an episode of it a few weeks ago, and it had my juices flowing for wrestling. Watching it, I was like, wow, something fresh is really on in the wrestling world.
Yeah, you know, I've heard of it. I've heard about it. I know John Morrison's there, and he's one of the guys I used to watch. He's one of my. I would consider one of my friends in the wrestling business, so he was one of the guys I would watch in WWE. But I think I thought he's there, or I think he's there right now. So
he's
I definitely need to check it out.
Base. Yeah, he's their top baby face.
Yeah, so I need to watch it just because I saw somebody tweet something now. It's probably him, just about it, and that piqued my interest. Look, there needs to be competition, and I don't think anybody's ever going to compete with Vince at this point. But I don't think anybody really needs to. I think you just need different kind of silos of wrestling, and I thought that's what ECW did so well. It was never really we all used to pretend that we were competing with Vince. I don't think we were. I just think we were creating that alternative, and it worked really well. But there's not a lot of stuff now. I will check that out though. There's not a lot of other stuff out now that really interests me though.
You know, it's really cool because the arena they're taping in, it kind of has an ECW arena vibe, but then
cool.
Their promos that they're doing, their vignettes, they're it's not a guy on a mic cutting a promo. It's these television quality vignettes of these angles going on behind the scenes on, you know, the matches and stuff. It's really cool the way it's done. It's very new to wrestling.
Yeah, I have to check it out. I've heard that. I've heard it's for lack of a better term, it's innovative. It's the innovator of violence, Tommy Dreamer. No, I'm just kidding, but it's innovative. I had to say that. It was too easy. But no, I definitely want to check it out. And anybody, you know, look, if there's a different formula out there, and I'm sure there is, and someone can find it, there's money to be had. I firmly believe that. And more so, there's some really great talent out there that has no place to go. It's the same way with music. You know, there's a lot of great bands that there's no place to go. It's just everything's so different right now. So you got to do whatever you can. Wrestling in particular, like, I mean, I did a thing with Resistance Pro, I guess going on like 2 years ago, and I met a lot of guys that I had never met before, but I had heard of, and they were awesome. And they're still out there, and they're still unsigned, and I'm sure they're still awesome. So, I mean, it sucks. It sucks for them. There's not a lot of place to work that will pay the bills like they, you know.
Now, are they still going, Resistance Pro, or, I mean, did Billy pull out of that or something I was hearing?
Billy pulled out of it, I guess now a month and a half ago, and to my knowledge, they're still going. I think they have. I think they have shows. I've really pulled away from that side of it, and I had what I don't know if it'll be my last run. I had a lot of fun there for about a year, and Billy had called me 2 years ago in March, this upcoming March, and asked if I kind of wanted to come out and do something. It was like he wanted to do an angle, but also on the talent side to help talent a little bit. And that was a really fun part for me. And I also connected with like Raven and Nova and guys like that, and I got to meet some really cool people that I think were awesome. But no, he's gone. I think everyone that I just spoke of is gone. I've been gone because I saw the writing on the wall a little sooner, and it's a long story, but I've been gone, and it sucks. You know what really sucked for them is, I mean, they had the AMC deal, which I know is still out there, but for a reality series, and you know, we were going to do some really cool stuff, and that no one really knew about. It was like between me, Billy, and one other guy, and it would have been pretty mind blowing. We didn't tell a soul. I'm still keeping it to myself because, you know, if it ever happens, it'll be awesome. But I'm not trying to bait you, I swear to God. It's just we had a really cool idea that I think would have gotten them a lot of mainstream media, and we're just going to sit on it until he does his next thing, because I know he's going to do some more stuff. So it'll be cool. But, no, he's not involved, to answer your question.
No, and actually there was rumors going around, I guess it was last year, was it, that he was supposed to be buying TNA or something?
Yeah, I planted that. That was a rib. I'm not going to sit here and try to work you, dude. I tweeted him one day. I texted him. I said, I'm gonna put this out there just for fun. And you know, it's funny how you know, he is my friend. He's been my friend for 15 years, and it's still funny how, to me, it was when you borderline reality versus wrestling, and you can get, or when you get in that border, you know what I mean? It's like you don't cross it, and people don't know what to think, and that's what really him and I were always doing, and I thought it was awesome. It was, I don't want to use the word genius. It was his, you know, he has a great mind for the wrestling business, but yeah, that was us messing around and getting some press.
That's funny.
Because we wanted to get some press for Resistance Pro. Like I said, our pro would have had a lot if it had been able to keep itself together. But no, we had a lot of fun. It sucks that that tweet didn't suck. That was hilarious. I couldn't believe it. I got a call. I think the New York Times called me or something, and I like totally blew him off because I was like, and I was just calling Billy. I was like, you're not going to believe this. I'm getting calls from XYZ and this person. We just laugh. Go on with our day.
Great. That is friggin' great.
That was it, man. You got to do that stuff. If you can't keep people guessing, then what are you doing? You know, you got to be unpredictable. What I felt bad for, to be honest, though, and I'll publicly apologize, is that some of the boys got worked in there too and thought that he really was going to be their savior, and I smartened them up. I'm not going to lie to the guys. That's, you know what I mean. I was more about messing with some of the fans. The boys, I told straight up. Like, I was getting texts from people I hadn't heard from. Like, no, it's a work. Just ignore it. So,
but imagine that.
If I made anybody mad during that time, I'm sorry.
but I mean, imagine that. Like, I mean, here these guys are probably getting all, like you said, like they thought Billy was going to come in and be the savior. It just shows you the state of affairs in TNA.
Well, look, the TNA wasn't the issue at the time. It was creative, and from what I understand, even if he would have come in, it wouldn't have been about money. It would have been about being like the booker. You know what I mean? So you're right. It does say a lot. I think Billy has a great mind for the wrestling business, so I think he could, do that, and he was doing that in our pro. And if you ever get your hands on some of the old DVDs, and I don't mean any of the, I don't know how the recent stuff was, but I'm sure it was fine. But some of the stuff from like a year and a half, 2 years ago when Rhino was there, and Harry Smith and Raven was in the ring, and we were doing stuff. You'd see ECW all over it because we used that kind of booking. It was a lot of fun.
Nice, very cool. So speaking of ECW, you mentioned something to me about possibly a book that you're going to work on.
Yeah, I started, and I think you know this, but I started in ECW as a photographer, and I shot it right, when it was starting to really pick up some steam. And I had this amazing collection of photos and negatives from, I guess, all of '94 into when I started as Sign Guy Dudley, which was August of '95. And there's a lot of people that went through there during that time. So I thought it would be cool, and I think it's going to be cool. And Billy's offered to kind of curate the book, to put something out that kind of memorializes those photos. It's not as much about making money as it is about just sharing that time in ECW, because that's when Eddie Guerrero was there. That's when Chris Benoit was there. That's when Jericho had first started. There were a lot of guys that were there. Steve Austin, it's like around that time. And that's when, Shane Douglas and Mick Foley and Sandman and Nancy Sullivan, and all those guys were doing their thing. And there's some really cool stuff. And really, I got a crazy documentation of the Axel Rotten and Ian Rotten series of death matches. It's beyond bloody, but there's some awesome stuff. I got some great stuff with Terry Funk and Cactus Jack and the no ropes barbed wire match, or I think that was Sabu. But regardless, there's a lot of stuff. And yeah, I've thought about it, and I start putting some stuff together. My biggest problem is I have 3,000 pictures, and I want them all to go in. So I was a couple months ago, I was sitting with my wife, who's not a wrestling fan, but gets it, and she was. I was looking at the photos with her, and I'm like, "Well, I want this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one." She's like, "It's not going to work like that." And so even she knows, but we'll see. I put like a 6-month timeline on that. It's all about having the time to work on the projects is the biggest problem. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things I'd like to do, but that one I think the fans would really get into. And 20 years in the wrestling business for me will be August of next year. So I'm trying to get it toward for that because, to me it's been a crazy little pinnacle. And I've had a lot of extended breaks too, obviously, but that's all good. It's all good. But that's the project, yeah.
Now,
I don't think my autobiography would sell, so I'll just go with pictures.
Now, something like that. I mean, have you sat down with Billy and showed him those pictures?
Yeah, I've sent him my 10 favorite, and he loved them. I mean, I got some. It's hard to describe on an interview. What I'll do is maybe I'll tweet one out later. I have one that I have a really, really good one of Shane and Cactus that I love, and I have a really good one of Cactus just tangled up in barbed wire. And I actually had tweeted those out a long time ago, so I don't have a problem showing people like a few, So I think, no, but he's seen them. I showed him to a few other people. It's definitely different when you shoot Ringside and you're shooting in 1994, 1995 when technology was what it was. It's very different than it was now. It's just a different look and feel. It's just a different look and feel of wrestling, and it's very, very cool.
Now, I mean, those times of 94, 95, and even as we were going through early Dudley days of 95 and 96 were iconic wrestling moments in history in that time. So, when you're showing stuff like that to Billy, and Billy being the wrestling fan, does he, kind of get blown away and like, oh my God, like stuff that he didn't get the chance to actually sit and see?
100%. You know, one of the best things that I did with him was he played 3 nights at the Tower Theater, I think I don't remember, 2009 maybe, I don't know. Tower Theater in Philadelphia. And one day he came in a day early and he was off, and I brought him to the ECW arena and they let us in, and it was obviously very different, but it was cool for him to even just see it. So yes, he does he gets into it. He's a natural wrestling fan, and he loves it and has a true passion for it. So for him to walk into the arena, 8 years or 9 years after the last show that was run there took place, and just to even see the building, I think it all gives us chills. But it definitely affected him, definitely affected him for sure.
That's awesome. Now, you said a tabletop book this is going to be?
Well, it's like one of those. What are they? Yeah, like exactly.
Coffee table book or something.
Yeah, I don't know how. That's what his suggestion was, and I agree with him. It's not like, really don't know how else to do it, to be honest with you. All the writing and stuff I've ever done has just been writing. It hasn't been a photo book, but I know I have the pictures. So it's one of those big ones you get, like an anthology kind of size, like the Beatles. We'll compare it to the Beatles. It's something about that size. Yeah, I need to have like maybe 3 or 4 pictures on the page that are decent size and document the time and the series that you have. I mean, I shot every show, so every storyline's in there.
Wow.
And a lot of them too. I mean, the whole reason this happened was because of Gabe Sapolsky and the ECW Action Wire. That's how I started in the business. I mean, I asked him if I could write for his magazine that he was handing out and selling at the ECW arena, and then eventually he asked if I could take pictures, and I just said yes, and I just got a camera and did it. So a lot of the pictures that people have in those, if they still have them from 94, 95, were my pictures anyway. So, and I know one appeared in PWI. So there's a bunch. Some of the stuff's floating around, but the stuff with Public Enemy or the stuff with the gangsters and stuff like that was just really cool.
That's cool. That's very cool. Yeah, because when you had said that to me about the tabletop book, I was thinking of Seinfeld when Kramer made the tabletop book and it folded out to a table. And I was like, that would be freaking perfect.
You know what, dude? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to make 10 of those, and I'll give you full credit and royalties because that's a great idea, dude. You know what? Actually, that's what I meant the whole time. I'm sorry. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, that would be too freaking funny.
That was my idea the whole time. I was just working you. No, I'm just kidding. But no, that's a fantastic idea. A little miniature table, like from a bar, from like a dollhouse.
You're right.
Totally insane.
So, all right. So, something else you worked on, which we're still at a stalemate with this thing. It's the Always a Sunday documentary, which we talked about last year. And it was, I mean, how many years ago was that? Like 3-4 years ago you filmed all that footage?
Yeah, 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh,
actually.
Wow.
It was
It's been that long already?
Yeah, man, it's all done. I still need to. You got the interview. I can't get the interview. I can't get the interview with Tom Kiefer. It's not happening. And I'll reapproach it when there's time again. I'm hopeful they're going to tour or they'll do something. And I would just really think it would be a miss not to have him on there. And it's a very respectful piece. It's not dogging the 80s or Philadelphia or anything. It's one of my greatest moments in growing up was experiencing that stuff. It's a tribute, and I just feel really weird not having the lead singer of the most popular metal band to come out of Philly not in it, and have other members of the band, which is cool, but he needs to be in it. So I'm holding out, man.
I totally agree. And what we're talking about is Lou did a documentary on the Philly scene, like the hard rock scene from the Empire Rock Club mainly, which was every Sunday night they did all ages shows. And it was a iconic, incredible moment in time where every Sunday they would have these evening shows with the top Philly bands in the area. And it just became like a staple for all of us kids to be up at Northeast Philly at the Empire every Sunday night to see these shows. And he made a documentary about it, and with a lot of guys from them big bands of that era that came out of Philly. And the last piece of the puzzle that he wants to do is Tom Kiefer from Cinderella. He wants to get Tom in this to finish it and then release it. And I have to pull the clip because I have the when I interviewed Tom, I have the full thing where I asked him. Yeah, I cut that out when I put that out there, and I'm gonna cut that clip and send it over to you because he just got when I asked him, he just got real silent. He was just like he knew what I was talking about, and he just got real silent.
I think he knows, dude. I had Billy reach out I've had everybody reach out, so everybody knows. That he knows, and it's cool, man. Look, all I want is an answer. If it's a no, then just tell me no, and that's cool. But I don't have an answer, and so until I don't, and I also would like to give that 5-minute, or not even 5 minute, 30-second elevator speech. Like, hey, man, give me 10 minutes of your time, and let's do this interview and talk about this. Bill Madsen was one of his idols from Dead End Kids, and we have 45 minutes to an hour we sat with Bill, and just talked about some amazing things. So, and then, Heaven's Edge basically, and I got really nice notes from those guys, or from a few of them, that, and Jim Dernick, the original drummer for Cinderella, reached out to me not recently, I would say within the last couple of years, but they're all grateful because they all play together again. So, and that was the interviews. So, I mean, it's like, the project is a good project. It did do something, and if he would just, but I can't put it on him, and he has his own things going on that I have no idea about, and that's fine. And I respect that. I just would love an answer. And even if it's just no.
Oh, too funny. So now I've come to find out, which I realized that I guess maybe yesterday or whenever it was I sent the tweet out to you. I'm like, this son of a bitch is now managing a band too. Like, when did this all start?
About 6 months ago now. It's a band in Vegas named Fever Red. And the lead singer is originally from Philadelphia. She's from Antioch. She was in an all-female Metallica cover band called Mistallica, along with her friend. And she is our guitar player in the Cirque du Soleil show Michael Jackson 1. And Michael Jackson 1 has been opened for about a year and a half. So a little over a year and a half ago, we did a press conference to announce the show and do a preview. And I went to the rehearsal, and she was there. And I'd never met her before. She was just playing guitar, and she was like totally shredding. And it was a Kramer guitar, and that was the first guitar that I ever bought, was a Kramer guitar. And I just went up to her afterwards, and I said, "Hey, is that a Kramer?" I already knew it was a Kramer, but it was a way to start a conversation. But was that a Kramer? And she's like, "Yeah, man." And she ran me through all the tech required, whatever, the stuff that I don't really understand. But all the equipment, how it's set up and stuff like that. And we just kept in touch. And then probably the show opens, a year goes by, and one of my buddies who's a publicist on the show reaches out to me and says, "Man, her name's Gina Gleason. And her friend's name is Leanne Martz, and so together they are Fever Red, along with their drummer and bass player. But they're the primary girls, and in the band. So my buddy reached out to me and he said, Gina just recorded this amazing stuff. You have to go listen to it. So I listened to it. I was blown away, just by the melodies, the guitar riffs, her voice, just how the two of them work really well together and sounded. And I just sent her a text. I was like, "Wow, it's awesome. Congratulations." And she's like, "We're playing live at a little bar in Vegas. Come out and check us out." So I did, and I was floored by their stage presence, which is huge.
Wow.
And so we just got to talking, and one night we were out at sushi, and management came up, and I just decided to go for it with them. And so we're in this venture together. And it's rewarding for them, but it's also really rewarding for me because it's something I always kind of wanted to do. So don't be mistaken. Gina and I still are very much, working for Cirque du Soleil and loving it. But on the side, that's what we do. and along with Leanne, it's and the rest of the band, and it's been cool, man. They just opened for Smashing Pumpkins last Saturday night in Vegas, which was just insane, and it shows that Billy believes in developing new talent and giving people a chance. And they have a gig tonight that I'm going to leave for in like an hour. So they're getting out there. So it's Fever Red. It's at Fever Red Band on Twitter. It's Fever Red on Facebook. It's definitely, if you like metal, I think somebody described it as Runaways meets Alice Cooper in Hell. So it's awesome.
That is friggin' awesome.
But yeah, so that's going on too. And that, man, it's all about passion. I believe in passion projects. It's not about making, it's not always about making money. It's about having fun.
Right.
You only live once, man. So that's it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got to get them on my indie show, man. I got to check them out.
You can get them on whenever you'd like, brother.
Cool.
Very cool. I could call them now if you want. But no, in all seriousness, you definitely should. You definitely should.
Yeah, you guys, they're playing what, over at the Count's place tonight, Vamped?
Yeah, exactly. It used to be Vince Neil's place. It used to be called Feel Good, and I guess 4 years ago that deal fell apart. So now it's Vamped, and it's cool, man. It was cool. Jakey Lee plays there a lot. I love Jakey Lee, and it's just the place for metal. I'm gonna really go out and say it's like the whiskey or the Roxy is to LA. This place is to Vegas, and it's a really important place to play. So we're happy to be in there for the second time, and we're happy with the people that are believing in us. So it's pretty awesome.
You got to do you see the Count when you're there? You got to tell them I said yo.
I saw him last time. I absolutely will. Yeah, you had him on your show, didn't you?
Yeah, here, I got to play his ID for you. It's hysterical. Check this out.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, this is a Count from Counting Cars, and you're watching. No, you're not watching. You're fucking listening. What's saying about
That's awesome.
Hey, everybody, this is the Count from Counting Cars on History, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio. Turn it up, man.
That's awesome. No, he was there last time. I hope he's there tonight. I didn't know you could curse, so I would have dropped about 100 F-bombs so far.
Yeah, come on, man. You can curse.
No, I don't know. I have no idea. But that's his spot. So it's pretty cool. It's very, very cool.
Since you moved to Vegas, I mean, you got to be pretty excited because, like, Vegas really now is becoming like the hotbed for hard rock in the country.
There's a lot because of the residencies and stuff like that, for sure. It's because you have, 90% of the people that go to shows are not from Las Vegas, so you have 10% locals, 90% from another place, and that creates, people wanting, and then it turns over every 3 days. So that creates, a demand. So if you know that every 3 days X millions of people are going to come into Las Vegas, why wouldn't you come here and set up at the Joint at the Hard Rock for a month or do whatever? You're going to be playing to 90% new people every night anyway. It's a great gig.
Wow.
And it's getting discovered, and I think it's the future. I've said this before, and I see it now more than ever. Excuse me. I mean, that's the reason Cirque survives, for that matter. But as far as music goes, I mean, look, Guns N' Roses has done it twice. Motley Crue did it once. Or was it twice? Crue did it twice, sorry. And then Kiss did it once. And Def Leppard has done it once.
Right.
And it's a great model. And I think there's a lot more bigger ones in the works in bigger places because there's a market for it. And for bands just to have to set up and not have to tear down every night and not have to tour, I mean, but still reach that kind of audience, including international, It's huge. It's huge.
That's freaking awesome. Yeah, I mean, like LA seems like it's just completely dead now, and it just shifted over to Vegas.
I don't know, man. Look, LA has been tough for us, even as a band. As a manager in a band who knows people in LA, it's very hard to get into. I know there's a lot of pay-to-play guarantee models where you have to guarantee 300 tickets or this and that, and we're not really, we can't take that risk right now. That's not the band, and I think we all know that. But there are a lot of bands that come through where you can go to Vamped every night and see somebody different. It's pretty awesome. And
wow.
Man, I take full advantage of it. So I'm not complaining, man. It's 15 minutes from my house. It's like, okay, I'm never leaving. So.
Yeah, you seem like you're having the time of your life, man.
Oh, look, I'm lucky, man. I'm lucky. I just and I try to pay it forward as much as I can. You know, my family's my biggest priority. My daughters, my wife, obviously, very supportive, and also, you know, yeah, it's funny because the girls in the band always thank me, but I'm always like, you guys have to stop thanking me because it rewards me also, because it's letting me explore a different part of the music business that I've always wanted to, and have had connections to do so. I just never believed in the band strong enough to work with until I met these girls, and now it's just taken on a life of its own. And Cirque du Soleil is a fantastic company. Can't say enough good things about them. And wrestling's wrestling, man. It's still out and it's around there. I miss it sometimes. I miss seeing the boys, but it's a changed environment right now. And right now it's probably best where I'm at, which isn't really – I'm happy to talk about it all day long and reminisce, but I'm in a good spot, so there's no worries. I just I have nothing but good things to say about it, really.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you now, as the band manager and managing this band where one of the members is from Philly,
yeah.
What is the word about the Philly market?
You know, we don't talk about it that much, to be honest with you. I haven't heard much, but I don't live there anymore, and I only go back once a year for a week, maybe 2 weeks. Her and I have had conversations about it, and actually they're both from Philly. The lead singer, lead guitarist, and the other guitarist / lead guitarist, because she also plays lead. They're both from Philly. No, I don't know, man. You tell me. I don't know if there is one there. I haven't heard much, but then again, I'm not there.
No, it's dead. And I believe me, I ask this question to almost everybody I interview, and they all basically say the same thing. Like, there's something wrong with Philly because it's a major market, but people just don't come out.
It's something wrong with music, is what I think too. I mean, the way that record deals are structured. And look, I'm learning all this on the fly, so I'm by no means am I trying to come off as an expert. I have some people who've helped me out, and I take advantage of them like a sponge, like when you start in the wrestling business and.
Right.
Someone's telling you what to do and how to shake everyone's hand and then do all those kinds of things. I mean, I'm the same way with music. I listen and I absorb it and I try to share it, and so I don't know what the deal is with what's going on out there, but I know the music business in general, the way the radio stations work, the way the concerts work, the way the records don't sell anymore, and it's all about singles, blah 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 blah, electronic, free music, this and that. It's different. It's just different.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to accept because you and I grew up in an era where it was all about record sales. It was about Metallica, Van Halen, Motley Crue, all these bands, Slayer, everybody going platinum, this and that, and selling this many units. And the band comes out now and sells Taylor Swift sold 1.2 million copies of her last record. But in our era, that was nothing. So
yeah.
But in this era, it's a home run, grand slam, holy shit. So
right.
It's just different, and you have to adjust to that. And I actually think that deters people. But you know what? That's one thing that Billy, I know, really wants to get into also. He knows there's undiscovered talent out there somewhere, and they all need a forum. So I think if things fall in the line in the right places and people start realizing that, then it could change the business as a whole. But that takes time, man. It's not going to happen overnight.
No,
and it sucks
true.
to hear Phillies. It sucks to hear Phillies not doing well. The city always has a special place in my heart. I think there'll be a time when we go back there to play shows. Hopefully, when MJ has some time off, because they have, every couple of months they get 2 weeks off, obviously, because of their body strain is very hard as artists as well. And
sure,
maybe we'll find out for ourselves. Maybe we can reinvent it single-handedly.
There you go. At the 2300 Arena now.
Yeah, I'm glad to play there with I'd like to open for the House of Hardcore, in all seriousness. So
there you go.
People would get into that. Tommy has a great model there too. That to me is a model that wrestling needs to follow, and he's created it. He knows it's like a Super Show model, but it still has the angles and the stories and the should I say characters or whatnot that pay off the fans or paid off for the fans. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and that last show he did, it sounded, reading the results, I was popping just reading the results. It sounded like a hot show.
So he knows what he's doing. Look, Tommy was ECW the last few years, and even before that too. Let's be honest. But even when I was with him and working together again with him in WWE, I mean, he's a brilliant mind also. I just don't think I don't know how many people know that, because it's behind the scenes stuff, and Tommy's a humble guy. He's not running around telling everybody I did X, Y, Z. To me, this is his time to shine. If he can start running that kind of thing on a regular basis, and then that'd be awesome. But the way he's doing it over the course of the last, I believe, 2 years, and was it 7 shows he's done, 6 or 7 shows he's done? That's the model. It's make money, build it up. Don't be a wrestling mark or a money mark, and do what you have to do. And he's got it. He's got the money, not the money. He's got the brain for it. He's got the creative juices for it. And I think he'll do really well with it if he keeps going.
Cool. Now, I have somebody here on the line that wants to say hello to you. It's kind of like an LAW reunion. The person you used to manage in LAW, the one, the only, Mr. Jimmy Jannetty.
Oh, I just saw a picture of me and Jimmy Jannetty the other day on Facebook. I was popping to myself. What's up, dude?
Hello. What's going on, brother?
Bro, I saw a picture. Bay, I am going to find the picture and send it to you. It was me and Jimmy in the ring together, and yelling at you.
I remember that quite well.
I do too, because I was probably shooting on Bay at the time. So.
I think we both were at the time. Yeah, it was like I think I even grabbed your phone and started calling somebody, cops or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, you definitely called somebody because I had a real phone and everything. No, eventually in the wrestling business, when I got on the microphone, even when I was doing the Resistance Pro thing in Chicago, there was no script. There was whatever I felt like saying. that was awesome. But yeah, no, it's good to hear from you, bro. It's a small world because I literally just looked at a picture of you and me and him like 3 days ago. So it's awesome.
There you go. See,
I wish. Bay, you need to do a Liberty All-Star Wrestling reunion. You need to do it Super Summer Sizzler too. I'll come out for it. I'll work the show for free. I don't give a shit. I just want to get back to some of the old good times. So,
you know what? I did a reunion. I did a gathering reunion at Hooters.
I remember. I heard
2
about
years
that.
ago.
I heard about that. Yeah. No,
you
need to do a show with a ring in it. You need to get a show with a ring in it.
No. My blood pressure can't take that.
To be honest, guys, you two are the smarter ones of us three because you guys actually got out of the business. So, unfortunately, I'm still sort of stuck into it. So.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like I just said, I miss parts of the wrestling business. There's a lot that I miss, but I was a lot different too, man. I was a manager, as you know, and like that does not have longevity. That is not a money-making venture at all, and I knew that. So that was half the reason I had to get out. So.
But I'll be honest, I'm not far behind now. I have set a date. I'm headed for that date, and that'll be the end of it once it does. So I want to try to do my last match with Stevie Richards. That would be awesome.
Steve, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's fine. We talked about it probably a couple weeks back, actually, when WrestleCade. So it was cool to see all the guys, Meanie and Nova and Little Guido and all those guys. I hadn't seen some of these guys, 10 years. So it was really cool to see some of those guys. But yeah, I'm headed for that date, so I can't wait for that.
Well, there's 2 things I want to do. One is eventually, I think when my kids are a little older and I'm not going to miss anything, I'd like to do some of those conventions because I've never done one. And it would only be, look, I'd love to meet people and whatever, but I also like to see the boys. And I also have, and I've told Tommy Dreamer this, I will put my hair up at any time in the right situation because that's where wrestling needs to go back to. Shave my freaking head. Like, let's do it. But find me the form to do it in. So those are my 2 goals that are left in the wrestling business.
Absolutely. Speaking of hair matches, I just got to tell you, and you guys would get a kick out of this more than anybody else. But I have just seen recently where Bill Dundee will be facing Jerry Lawler in a match, and I think it's actually coming up either this weekend or next. But for the first time in like so many years, and these guys are going at each other again. So
that's unbelievable. But you know what? Those guys will work a match that'll be so freaking awesome. They won't even take a bump, and it'll be amazing. So.
Absolutely.
So what you're saying is Dundee needs a haircut and a payday.
That's right. Well, they were on Memphis Morning News. I saw it on Facebook, and they were just talking about all the hair matches that they did, and shaving Bill Dundee's ex-wife's hair, and you know, his losing his mother's car, and everything else. And honestly, I think that's what it does. That's what it's going to take to get wrestling back, is that type of goofy stuff.
I agree, man.
Awesome.
That's why, dude, I couldn't agree more. And that's the exact reason that, look, I'm happy with what Tommy's doing because I think there's longevity there, but you need the gimmicks. But you need the fun kind of gimmicks. Like, you know, run somebody down with a car, shave their head. You know, it's perfect.
Absolutely.
Hey, you're a promoter, man. You can make it happen. I'll lose my hair at the 2300 Arena or whatever the hell it's called. I'll give the finish away right now.
Tell Billy to put the cash up for it, and we'll do it.
All right, I'm going to talk to Billy because Billy knows I've wanted to do this, and if Resistance Pro had held out, I think it was April of next year I was doing it. But fuck it, that didn't work out. I'm happy. Don't care. And we will find a form one day that I can do it while I still have hair. So we better get going.
That's funny. That is too funny. So, all right, well, Lou, I'm going to have to let you go because I have an interview taped with Gary Hoey, and I have to get that in time. So
well, I'm happy to talk to you guys, and I was happy to Jimmy, it was awesome hearing from you. I did not expect that. That was a run-in. I was kind of hoping it was Tom Kiefer, but I guess not. No. But look, it was awesome being on, man, and I'll keep you posted. And let's talk again in like a year, and we'll see where we're at. If not sooner, if things go quicker, and I'll get you the Fever Red Chicks pretty soon.
Cool, very cool.
Cool, guys. Thank you.
Cut an ID for me. Last time you never cut one, so I need one from you now.
What do you want me as? Lou D Angeli, Louis Dangerously?
Do it.
Totally Driven TV, Totally Driven Radio.
Totally Driven Radio. Yeah, do it all.
This is okay. Ready? 3. Give me a countdown, guys.
All right, you ready? 3,
yeah.
2, 1.
For those of you who don't know, my name just happens to be Louis Dangerously or Sign Guy Dudley, depending on the day and the payday. But right now, you're listening to Totally Driven Radio.
Nice.
That was
awesome.
awesome.
You didn't fuck it up like the count. How about that?
One take guy. One take guy. Done.
One take, Lou.
Nice. Lou, always a pleasure, man. Tell Brooke I was asking for it. Hope you guys have a good Christmas. And when you come to Philly, man, we got to hook up.
Yeah, I'll be there 2 weeks. 2 weeks a year is my max. So she's listening right now and probably shaking her head, but that's okay. I'll be there next year. And we'll definitely we'll get something going for sure.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right, guys. See
All right,
you.
man.
Thank you both. Later.
Yep, take care. All right, everybody, there he goes, the one and the only, Lou D Angeli. It's always good to hear from Lou. Fun time.
I love Lou.
Yeah, Lou's such a good guy.
There's not many places I could say that, but I love Lou.
There's not many places I could say that. Oh, too funny.